Royal Rumble season is coming up. The show is this Sunday, just a few days away. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting all of the Royal Rumble winners into this alignment chart based on how well their win was and how good they are just as a wrestler. I was going to do a tier list, but I noticed they have added this option on Tier Maker, and I thought it would actually be a better thing to do because you can look at both how I think of them as a wrestler and how I think of them as a winner. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through every single winner as we have down here. They're not in any particular order, I don't believe. So we're going to go through all of them and see who they are, how they won, which one they won, etc., etc. I believe they are alphabetical, and seeing what I personally think of them as a winner and a wrestler. So let's get started at the very top with what a start. Alberto Del Rio. Well, okay, we already know he's going to be down here. Okay, well, as a wrestler, he wasn't that bad. He was okay. And the win itself was pretty bad. So we're probably going to be putting him somewhere around here. As a person, obviously, he'd be, off the chart. Um, but the win itself was pretty poor. And as a wrestler, he was maybe above average. But I can't put him any higher than where he is right now because, personal reasons. And all that. So moving on, we have Asuka in 2018. This is a very good wrestler, so basically the opposite of Alberto, and a pretty solid win because the 2018 Rumble, while I don't think I've watched the whole thing, is a very good Rumble match. It's the first Women's Royal Rumble, and it was a good showing for all of them. You had, surprise appearances by some legends of the past. So I'm probably putting Asuka right around here, basically the polar opposite of where Alberto is. Then we have Stone Cold? Okay, Stone Cold. And I think 1998, but I can't tell. I don't think I've seen personally any of the Stone Cold Rumbles, but I know most of them were really good. So I'm going to be putting him in this category. Let me find all of them actually. Because Stone Cold, I don't think you can deny that he is in any way a poor wrestler, a bad wrestler, any of that. So all of his Rumbles will be going over here, right around the same area. I personally think this image is really funny, so I'm going to be putting it on top. But they're all right around here. No particular order. I haven't seen most of them. But it's Stone Cold. He's a great wrestler. What more do you want me to say? Then we move on to Dave Bautista. So this is interesting because you have this one in 05 and then you have the 2014 one. And they're two very different Rumble wins because in 05, it's, the young guy, he's getting a shot at Mania. He's going to go up against Undertaker, which I reviewed, by the way. And it's going to be so cool. Let's go. And obviously, yeah, he's a great wrestler. But the win itself, is it really that good? Is it that good? So we're going to be putting him right around here. Nothing crazy, but right around here as I think a good spot for Dave. Because I haven't watched some of these Rumbles. I've watched most of them. Just a lot of the ones that we're going through early are the ones I haven't seen. Then we have the 2014 Rumble. This is a really bad victory, but a good wrestler, so I can't put him any lower than here. But the Rumble itself sucks. Bryan getting eliminated, Wyatt getting eliminated, and then just a slow, Ziggler out and all your stars and your favorite people out by friggin' Kane and Big Show, your two favorite people, and Batista ends up winning in the end. It's just not interesting. And I don't think Dave could have done anything about that. Should have just copy-pasted this one if he wanted to have him win. But either way, he went on to main event Mania 30, which I also reviewed if you want to go check that out. Anyways, we have Bayley, a very good wrestler with a very good victory. I don't think it was as good as Asuka's win, but it was still pretty good. She's also a very good wrestler, so Bayley is going to go right up in that top category. You may notice that a lot of the people who win these Rumbles are going to be going up here because most of the shots they've taken are correct as to who should be winning. As you can see, all but one of them are above the good, bad marker for wrestlers. But either way, let's continue on. We have Becky Lynch in 2019. This one's weird because Becky, really good, but the Rumble is not a good win because she gets just put in the match anyways and then wins it. If there was a story behind it and Becky had, some sort of momentum and, you knew she was coming, then it would be like, oh, yeah, let's go. But just, all right, I'm in the match, guys. Because that kind of takes away from everything else that's already gone on in the match. So that's why I don't think I can say that it's a good victory. Because if you have a big moment like this, For example, let's take Survivor Series 2023. You have a pretty good War Games match, but no one remembers anything about that War Games match other than CM Punk. That is the only thing that is memorized about that match. That and the JD McDonough RKO. Those are the two things that anybody ever remembers about that match. And that's just how things are, you know? Anyways, we have Bianca Belair. This is a really good Rumble and a very good win by a very good wrestler. So Bianca is going to go very high up here, top right corner. Bravo. And again, I know some of you Stone Cold fanatics, I get that. I haven't seen the Rumbles. I just need to reiterate that because I've been looking at it and thinking about it. But I'm just going to put them all over here just so I can say, okay, they're all equal. They're all right here. They're all in a little stack. Anyways, Bianca Belair, a very good Rumble, unfortunately hindered by the pandemic. And for that matter, where's Edge? Where's Edge's second win? Also, a very good Rumble win. I've watched both of them. I personally prefer the women's Rumble, so I'm going to put her slightly in front of him. But still, a very good sequence of Rumbles by two very good wrestlers, and props to them. They did awesome in both of these matches. So, two very good wins. Bianca, Edge, great 21 Rumbles. Just unfortunate that they couldn't have fans in attendance for it. So I'm seeing that Big John Studd is up next. So I want to kind of knock out a couple of the earlier ones. So you have Big John Studd, haven't watched it, middle. We have Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I know he's okay and he's a little bit funny, and all that. So I'm going to put him slightly above the other guy. And I think after that, it's just a bunch of Hogan wins, and then it actually locks in as a Rumble again. So we're going to go back to the original formula. Anyways, we have Braun Strowman in the Greatest Royal Rumble. Okay, this is a terrible win. But Braun Strowman's a pretty solid wrestler at worst, so I'm going to be putting him like above the bar, but nothing crazy because, well, I do like the man, and he is a pretty solid performer. I don't think you can say that he is even touching Batista here. I think that's a fair statement to say that Braun Strowman is not as good as Batista. I think that's a fair statement. Anyways, we have Bret Hart. Obviously, the worst wrestler on this list. You know, he's clearly going at the bottom here, and matter of fact, he's below Alberto Del Rio. It's a really bad Rumble, and I don't know why anyone would put it on here. I'm kidding. Yes, Bret Hart, very good wrestler. I do not like the win though, and for that matter, where's Lex? I saw him earlier. There he is. Lex. Both of these guys are going to go in the same area with the same line, but Lex is you. There we go. Equally poor wins because it's the exact same match, but a stark difference in the quality of the performers who won. And I think for that matter, I'm going to put Brett slightly closer to good win because the moment itself, it's cool, yes, but it's also like, why would you have two people win, knowing what goes on at WrestleMania with Lex just losing? Lex loser over here, and it really doesn't pan out for Lex, and I don't think I can say that it's a good Rumble because of that. I'll give them some slack. I'll move it up a little bit further, but I really don't think that this Rumble is anything special. Then we move on to Brock Lesnar's 03 win. This is a pretty good Rumble. I've seen the highlights from this one. Brock himself is a good performer, but in a Del Rio way, I'm going to be putting him here, up slightly above Batista, because I just prefer him as a wrestler. But I'm going to be putting him right around here, just a little bit beyond Batista's win. Actually, honestly, I don't know, because Batista's win's really good. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to adjust Dave to there, and then Brock there. That feels more correct in my mind, because the Undertaker elimination at the end is really, really nice. But I don't really remember anything else about the match, so I can't really say too much there. Then we have Brock's 2022 win. Okay, so now we have Charlotte Flair in 2020. This was a weird Rumble. We didn't really want to see Charlotte win, so it's probably in the bad win category. But Charlotte is a very good wrestler, so I do have to put her high up here. I'm going to be putting her close to Bret Hart, but the Rumble was definitely worse than the 94 Rumble. So, actually, I don't know, because you think about the 94 Rumble and the quality of the wrestling in there, it is objectively worse than the 2020 wrestling quality. So, you could say this, but it's like at the time, how Jim Brown is considered like one of the best running backs of all time for his era, But how would he do today? There's a big argument about that. Some people say, oh, he'd do great, he'd be even better. Some people say, no, he'd get completely blown up, like 100 yards, maybe. But no matter your argument, I don't really know where I'm going to put her here. So I'm going to say that the 2020 Rumble is slightly better because of just the pure quality, disregarding eras and stuff. Then we move on to Chris B. It's a good wrestler. I'm sorry. Like, Del Rio and Brock are going down because of that. And objectively, Chris Benoit should be like here, probably. And that is the correct location, But I specifically said wrestler, mostly because of just Chris Benoit. And I think because of that, I can't in good conscience put him anywhere that's not at least here. Because if this said bad person, then it obviously right there. But it says wrestler, so I'm going to put him here. I don't think he's a good person, but as a wrestler, you can't deny it. He was incredible. He should, for just his pure wrestling ability, be here. But I am going to be doing what I did for Del Rio and for what I did for Brock and just putting them lower because of that. Anyways, we are moving on to Cody Rhodes and his back-to-back victories. We have 23 and 24 respectively. I think the 24 win is probably better because he enters in the middle rather than the very, very end. So we're going to be putting, I don't think the 23 Rumble is a good win. It's a good match, but it's not a good win. So I don't really know where to put this. So I'm going to be putting him like here. I'm going to put him right here. It's a good spot for Cody. And you can argue, Cody's like obviously better than Bayley and Charlotte. And I think I'm going to be putting the consistency of Bayley and Charlotte above that. I'll try and put them as equal as I possibly can. I don't think he's better than Becky, so I do have to put Becky higher than all of them. But either way, Cody's going to go there in his 23 win. But his 24 win was much, much better. I really like this win. It's a very nice victory for him. I'll be putting it like here. Here's a good spot to put it. It covers Bayley's face, but Bayley is also there. Let that be known. Then we move on to Drew McIntyre. This is the best Royal Rumble of all time. I have not seen all of the 2001 Royal Rumble, so I will not be taking any complaints because this is the best Rumble of all time. And I don't have a single question about that or a single argument that could maybe make me change my mind because this Rumble is really good. Okay, there's one because, yes, the first half is bad, but the rest of it, beautiful. So it's great win. And I'm gonna say Drew. I'm trying to think like where everybody else is on here, and would I prefer watching a blank match rather than a blank match? And I would prefer watching a Drew match over a Brock match. So I'm gonna be putting him right there. That's probably a good spot for where Drew should be. Then we have Edge's 2010 win. Okay, it just took me a second. I was thinking about the WrestleMania and when that was. Anyways, Edge's 2010 win. This is really good. It's coming back from injury. So we have to put pure wrestling ability right there. I don't know if it's better than Asuka's. I don't think it is. So I'm going to be putting him right here. Actually, I'm going to put him on the same line, slightly above Cody, but below Asuka, but not by much. It's right there in the middle. So that's where he's going to go. As I said at the very beginning of the video, there are a lot that are going to end up in this top right quadrant. And you notice there are no people in this quadrant down here. You can argue Chris Benoit should be there, and he probably should. But no one's down here. So WWE has not been all that bad at picking poor winners. There's only been 2 people in the bad win, bad wrestler category. So who knows at this point? Anyways, we have I am a real American Hulk Hogan over here. Hogan, his first 2 Rumble victories, he's not a particularly good wrestler, but he's Hulk Hogan. I can't deny that. They're not particularly good victories. Like, I don't really know anything about them because I didn't watch them. But it's the 90s. The wrestling probably wasn't that good. So I'm going to be putting them there. Again, try and discount my rankings for the Hogan ones and the Austin ones. I just haven't seen them enough or at all to rank them appropriately. So just take that with a huge grain of salt. Anyways, I'm going to be trying to bang through a few more of these quickly because this video is a little bit long. We have John Cena's return win. It's a great moment by a great performer. It's probably going to go here because everybody hated John Cena, so Womp womp. This is a bad win, but by it's John Cena, so you can't really deny it. He last eliminates Ryback in this match. It's a terrible match. Anyways, then we have Randy Orton's 2009 victory. This is weird. I don't think I've ever seen this Rumble, so I don't know if I can rank it accordingly. I know, as a wrestler, he's up here. And knowing Orton, it was probably a good enough Rumble, so I don't know. There. That probably seems good enough to me. I don't know. As I said, haven't seen. Then we have Orton's 2017 win. I did see this one. This one is probably going to go, because he didn't really need it and we knew where it was going. So I'm going to put this right in the middle because it was such a 50-50 of like, it was a great moment, but knowing what comes next and like looking back, it's not as good. They have Rey Mysterio. This is a really, really good win. This is one of my favorite wins that I've ever seen. And it's by a great wrestler in Rey Mysterio. I'll be putting it right next to Drew McIntyre, slightly below, because I do really love Drew's win. But Rey's win was awesome and really good moment for him as a smaller guy to get such a moment. I want to try and get through all the remaining people in this area because there's not all that many left, so I just want to get through them quickly. So we have Ronda Rousey with a really, really bad win and a pretty bad wrestler, if I'm being honest. But she did have that good run beforehand, so I can't put her, at the bottom or anything. Then we have Vince McMahon. Some guy. I put it so deep in the corner I can't even move it anymore. Like the other ones I can move, I can't. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's all the people that belong in that category from the remaining individuals here, as far as I'm aware. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. That seems appropriate. Anyways, those are all the people in the bad win, bad wrestler category. Just wanted to get them all out of the way. Yoko, great dude, probably, but terrible wrestler. Got overweight. It's a bad win, anyways. And then Ronda Rousey obviously did not care at this point, just won it so that she can go to Mania, and didn't even win at Mania against Flair. So just overall bad. But going on to good wins and good wrestlers, we have Ric Flair in 1992. This is a very good victory, and probably is it my favorite win? No, I think Ray's win I like more as a victory. I really do like Flair's win here. I'm putting it slightly behind these two, because I do think those are the top two, and there's nobody. He goes like 1, 2, 3, and that's probably Flair. But either way, that's the list for that area. Flair's really good win, very good wrestler. Then we have Rhea Ripley, also a very good wrestler, and a very fun win in this one. This win isn't technically, I wouldn't say it's as good as these ones because these were emotional victories. Rhea's didn't feel like an emotional victory. It felt like yeah, let's go, but nothing more than Edge coming back from injury, Edge coming back from injury again, Flair winning the world title, Ray, Drew finally getting their moment, Chris Benoit finally getting his moment, Cody having a chance to redeem himself, etc., etc. Rhea won it, and everyone's like, cool, and let's move on. Let's go to Mania, see how she does. But either way, still pretty fun. Roman Reigns, awful victory, but it's Roman Reigns, so he goes right in that top corner. Not something you see every day, this top corner being taken up, but it happens when you have a victory by Roman Reigns, which is how things are. Then we have Seth Rollins. This is also a pretty bad victory. It's not as bad as the 2019 women's. Excuse me, it's way worse than the 2019 women's. That match is not as bad. But this match is not good. So I'm gonna be putting it. Is it worse than the Flair 2020 match? I'm gonna say it is. Not by much, but I'm gonna say it is. It's also probably worse than that match. Anyways, we move on to the 95 Shawn Michaels win. It's a good win. It's not a good match, but it's by a great wrestler. So I'm gonna be putting him right here. Seems about right because the win itself is great, but the match itself sucks. So what can I say? I'm gonna be putting it over there. Then his other win, I know literally nothing about, so I'm putting it right in the middle. Sheamus He's a good wrestler, but I have no idea how this is who they chose to win. So I'm going to be putting him right there. Then we have Shinsuke Nakamura in 2018. Very good win. I want to say he's a good wrestler. And at the time, he was. But he is washed. Sorry to say, he's washed. So I'm going to be putting him right around there. Then we have Dwayne The Rock Johnson, followed by Trips twice and Taker. Taker's win is very, very good. I enjoy his a lot. So his is going to go right around there. Triple H's first victory, I don't know all that much about, but I know it's probably somewhere around here. There we go. The Rock's victory is not a good victory, but it's by a great wrestler. It's in the very same spot as right here, where he appears twice. Anyways, the win itself is bad because he didn't win. He didn't win. Big Show won, but he won the match. Sure you did, pal. But it was a really good Rumble. I can't lie. So it's gonna go right. What are we thinking? Right there. There sounds pretty good to me. And lastly, we have the 2016 Triple H victory. This is a bad win, but it's Triple H, so it goes right around there. So this is my final list. Do you agree with this list? Now, as I said, remember, take some of these with a grain of salt. I haven't seen every single Rumble. Like, I haven't seen the Austin ones. Haven't really seen all that much of The Rock or the Triple H ones or the Cena ones. But this is from what I know mentally, what I can say. If you have any thoughts on ones I should specifically watch, make sure to let me know down in the comments below so I can get a more accurate ranking. I might do this again next year, see if my listing changes all that much. But yeah, I think this is interesting. There's only 5 people in the bottom left, which is where you don't want to be. Nobody in the bottom right. And most people populated the top right, which is always good. So that's nice. Anyways, make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, good whatever. Make sure to watch any former or future videos on this channel. And goodbye.